Welcome and thank you for coming out today to celebrate the Collins Trail and the launch of the interpretive signs that we've recently done. So my name is Bill Husted. My name is Bill Husted, and I'm a volunteer on the Dare County Trails Committee. The committee is part of the Parks and Recreations group. And our goal is really just to promote the Dare County Trail system and facilitate development of new trails whenever we can. And I'd like, before we get into the program today, to acknowledge a couple of people here. Bob Woodruff here from the Board of Commissioners. Thank you for joining us today. Wally Overman's here. And from the town of Manteo, I saw Michael Basnight back here. Michael, appreciate you joining us today. So some years back, our community leaders had a vision to connect this government center over to the Outer Banks Visitor Center, and from the Visitor Center to go over to Coastal Studies Institute and Skyco. So that vision became a reality in 2017, and it's the Collins Trail. So as the purpose of the trail was to give people a place to go take a walk, get some exercise, or maybe just clear their mind. So the trail was opened in 2017. It's about a mile and 1.3 miles long one way. So if you want to walk it today, that's what you're looking at. We hope you do. And the sponsors or the donors that made this happen are the North Carolina Department of Transportation. Then we have the Outer Banks Visitors Bureau. Lee, we appreciate that. And the Meekins Charitable Trust. And so those are the founding sponsors that made this trail happen. The Trails Committee took on the task of creating these interpretive signs. And when we got started, we were pretty new, when we didn't have any funding. And so this really became a community effort to get these signs out. So we needed some sign frames to begin with. So we went to the Manteo Rotary Club. They gave us some money, and we bought some materials. And then we went to the College of Albemarle, and their welding program put the signs together, made them for us, and so we got that part started. So then we needed some content, and so then we went to the Coastal Federation, and they let us use one of their interns for a while to do research and write the content. And I think I saw Victoria Bakey here from Coastal Federation. Thank you very much for that help. So after we got the content done, we had to then figure out how to get them designed, printed, and installed. So we had a little money from the Parks and Recreations group that allowed us to get started on design and print. And then we went knocking on the Visitors Bureau's door again, and got the balance of the money we needed to finish that part of the project. So Lee, we really appreciate your continued support on this project. So the next step, I went to the Coastal Studies Institute and said, hey, can we put a sign on your property? And oh, by the way, can you pay for that sign? And they graciously said yes to both of those, and so we appreciate their ongoing support of this project as well. The volunteers, there's been a lot of those on this project. We've had people that helped us, that made time available to us to do interviews, gave us information about the area. We had people that did editing on the content for the signs, people that helped put markers in. There's a whole lot of hands on this project that has gotten it up and going and gotten these signs into the ground. I see Joan Collins is up front here. She was very graceful in her time, answered a lot of my questions, gave me a lot of guidance, and I appreciate that. So this is our trailhead sign. Cord's not long enough. And there's one of these at this end and one at the Coastal Studies Institute. So you can see the picture here of Gussie and Marshall Collins, who the trail is named after. And is Jasmine here? She didn't make it. We were hoping that the artist would be here, but we appreciate her efforts that she did on the artwork. So in addition to the trailhead signs, we have 7 interpretive signs along the way. So as you leave here and start walking on the trail, the first sign you'll come to actually is the sign about the Native American and early settlers' use of plants. And so look for these signs along the way. There's 7 of them that are out here. It's amazing on this little island that you can find plants that will help you with pain control. You can find trees that you can build ships with. So that's a pretty good use of all the plants and wildlife that we have on the area. The next one that you'll come to will be the scat tracks and trails. So as you go underneath the bridge, there's a sign there that tell you about the wildlife that's in the area. If you stop, take a look over the rail, look down, you'll see a lot of tracks in the wetlands mud down there and figure out what kind of animals were here. There's a trail map at the visitor center, so you can find out where you've been, where you're going, make sure you don't get lost. And then as you leave the visitor center, there is a transitional habitat sign. And this is an area where the wildlife meets the human life. So it's interesting considerations to make. The next sign up will be the Willis Cemetery. There's a sign listing all the people that are buried in the Willis family cemetery there. Beautiful setting under some tall pine trees. There's also a listing of a person that's not buried there but has a tombstone there. So interesting story you can read about along the way. The Collins Trail Homestead, or the Collins Homestead, has a sign as you come out of the woods next to Joan's house. If she sees you out there, she might come out and talk to you about it. And then the last sign, interpretive sign, as you go into the Coastal Studies property, is the Skyco Airport. And a lot of people don't know that there was an airport in Skyco, so it's interesting to read about that one as well. So now I want to turn our attention to the Collins family. And as you walk the trail from here over to the visitor center, this was all the Collins homestead property at one point in time. And so we have 2 members of the family today that are going to tell us some stories about the Collins family and some more background about Gussie and Marshall. Deborah Jefferson is the eldest child of Herbert Collins and who is one of Gussie's and Marshall's sons. She is a Howard University alum and possesses more than 30 years of experience as a human resource manager in the federal government. As a senior executive, she was awarded the President Rank Award of Distinguished Executive in 2009 and then retired in 2010. Went out on top. After retiring, she has served on lots of committees and lots of boards. Deborah is a passionate advocate of equality and human rights. She also has a passion for traveling and physical activity, which has paid off as she also has climbed Mount, I'm going to mess up the pronunciation of it for you here, Kilimanjaro. And she also spends a lot of time with her husband and children and grandchildren. Sharon Warren is also with us today. She's a remarkable individual with a diverse range of accomplishments. As the great-granddaughter of Marshall, I had my notes wrong earlier, she carries a legacy of environmental stewardship that has guided her life. She's a graduate of the American University, and Sharon is a dedicated mother of 3, and she's channeled her energies and love for the planet into groundbreaking initiatives. She's known for developing a green pregnancy protocol, which promotes sustainable practice in the healthcare industry. Her commitment to environmental and sustainability extended to the construction of the first LEED certified medical office in the United States. That's quite an accomplishment in itself. She's also a traveler, and on her trip to Tanzania and climbing the mountain, she decided to form another company, which is the Ojaza Expeditions. So I'd like to hear more about that from you at one point in time. Beyond her professional achievements, Sharon is a passionate humanitarian who actively engages in charitable work across the globe. Sharon Warner is a true trailblazer, environmentalist, and entrepreneurship, and humanitarian. So at this point, I'm going to get out of the way and ask these ladies to come up and tell us about the Collins family. Might get you better.
Yeah, I'm short. Marshall was born in January 1898 and Gussie in September 1896. They were part of a small non-white community on Roanoke Island, consisting of people who were descendants of the enslaved and free people of color. My grandfather was viewed as a gentle and gentlemanly, dark-skinned man who probably knew about as many different things as any person ever known. He farmed, fished, crabbed, and did odd jobs wherever he could to take care of his family. He worked at Skyco Lodge for Frank Stick, the father of the deceased Outer Banks historian David Stick. At one point, Mr. Stick was one of the largest landowners in the Outer Banks. Working for Stick, my grandfather would have experienced firsthand what it meant to own property. While working at Skyco Lodge, he would have likely walked the very same pathway as the Collins Trail. I had the honor and privilege of knowing both of my grandparents. I lived with them for a couple of years as a young child in Manteo. I remember them as being reserved, yet very loving and caring. They loved Roanoke Island and they loved family. They had 10 children, including 2 who died, one at 13 years old and the other a couple days after his birth. My great-grandmother, Angenora Pewberry, also lived with us during my time here. I was born on the same day as my grandmother, Gussie. I remember her as a hard worker and a devoted family person. My grandmother shucked oysters by the barrels on our front porch, and to this day I cannot eat an oyster because I remember the slime. My grandmother's father, Joseph Hallberry, was also well known in the community. He worked at the historic Pea Island Life-Saving Station as a surfman under the keeper Richard Etheridge. Joseph Hallberry's father, Zion Hallberry, was also the founder of the Haven Creek Baptist Church, a church tied to the story of the Freedmen's Colony on Roanoke Island. Both Marshall and Gussie also have ties to the Native American history in this area. My grandfather taught us to treat others the way we want to be treated. Gussie and Marshall were well regarded and known for their integrity and honorable values. Marshall established his own business on the waterfront in Manteo, a crab house and a fish house. My grandfather is also believed to be the first Black person to have a business in downtown Manteo. He opened Marshall's Seafood in 1932. There was a short article in the Coastland Times on January 16, 1948, titled Marshall Collins, Honored by White and Colored. It stated he was one of the most highly respected of colored citizens. At one point, my grandfather owned about 400 acres of land on here. His hope was to leave it to his 8 children upon his death. He built his land tract by tract, buying small parcels at a time. As thousands of Black families throughout America, a great majority of his land was stolen through eminent domain. My grandfather's dream was shattered when the government decided they needed the land for the approach to the new Croatan Sound bridge. My aunt and uncles attempted to fight this in court, but in the end, they had no choice but to accept a monetary payment for devalued land as a settlement. They also had to give a portion of the land to the Dare County for a visitor center and administrative building. The land that the courthouse stands on today belonged to my grandfather. I cannot speak for the rest of my family, but not naming the courthouse after Marshall C. Collins was a great disappointment to me. I'm sure my grandparents would be humbled and pleased with the Collins Trail. Each time I returned to Manteo, I always walked the trail with my sister Joan. It's always an emotional and tranquil at the same time. Knowing them, I know they would be humbled and embarrassed by the attention at the same time. I want to thank the Dare County Trails Committee and all of the organizations that supported the trail, and thank you all for attending today.
Hello. It's with great admiration. It's with great honor and admiration that I stand before you today to speak about the remarkable impact of Marshall and Gussie Collins, two phenomenal human beings that have touched the lives of all who have crossed their paths. I never got to know them personally, but was very close to their son, Herbert Collins, my grandfather, a man whose magnificent traits have not only shaped the lives of his loved ones, but have also left a lasting legacy that continues to inspire. When I was 6 years old, my father fished the first white marlin open in 1974 in Ocean City, Maryland, the white marlin capital of the world. I remember driving to Ocean City most weekends in the summer and begging my dad to let me fish the tournament with him. Boating and fishing have been an integral part of my life since birth. My father was born in Georgetown, Guyana, and came to the States to attend Howard University. It was there that he met my mother and formed a close bond with my grandfather, Herbert Collins. My grandfather, or good old Herb as we affectionately called him, was a man of the sea, a true master of the ocean, who possessed a deep passion for boating, deep-sea fishing, and aviation. He was a beacon of wisdom and knowledge, and he shared his love for the ocean with my father, instilling in him a profound appreciation for the beauty and vastness of the sea. The first Sunday in August is a day that I cherish. August 7th, 2022 was a beautiful sunny day in Ocean City, Maryland, and sadly my father's last white marlin open. My father lived for this day and week, and I have so many wonderful memories from being afforded the opportunity to be able to be part of this. I understand that not many people get the chance to offshore fish, nor have many people got to experience the thrill of seeing a billfish come out of the water and slap the bait, much less catch a billfish. This week, the first Sunday in August, is the White Marlin Open, the largest billfish tournament in the world. You fish 3 out of 5 days, and it's so exciting. My father fished it 49 years in a row, and this tournament has had a lasting impact on me and my family. One might ask, what does this have to do with Marshall and Gussie Collins Walkway? I can tell you it has everything to do with these exemplary individuals. Marshall and Gussie Collins' exemplary character traits have left a lasting impact on not only their children, but of all who knew them. Their kindness, compassion towards their community have brought people together, fostering a sense of unity and belonging. Their honesty and fairness in dealing with others have set a high standard for integrity and trustworthiness, and their love for the environment has inspired others to cherish and protect the natural world around us. It was through my grandfather's guidance and mentorship, passed down from his parents, that my father developed a lifelong love for the ocean, a love that would define his existence and bring him endless joy and fulfillment. My father's dedication to the sea is a testament to the profound impact that my grandfather had on his life. Through the lessons and values that my grandfather imparted, my father learned the importance of respect for nature, the value of hard work and dedication, and the significance of cherishing moments spent with loved ones. My grandfather's influence transcended generations, shaping not only the lives of his children and grandchildren, but also leaving an indelible mark on all who had the privilege of knowing him. Kindness is a virtue that transcends time and space, impacting not only individuals, but also entire communities and future generations. Marshall and Gussie Collins, a couple who fought to preserve their land for the sake of their descendants' legacy, exemplify the profound power of kindness in shaping the course of history. Through their unwavering commitment to their family, community, and land, they have demonstrated how acts of kindness can lead to lasting impacts that create a legacy that endures for generations to come. Honesty was the cornerstone of their character, guiding them through life with integrity and trustworthiness. They believed in doing what was right, even when it was difficult, and their honesty was a virtue that earned them respect for all who knew them. Entrepreneurship ran in their blood as they worked tirelessly to build a successful business from the ground up. Their dedication, hard work, and innovative spirit paved the way for their success and inspired those around them to dream big and never give up on their goals. But perhaps what truly set Marshall and Gussie apart was their deep love for the town of Manteo. This beautiful place held a special spot in their hearts, and they worked tirelessly to contribute to its growth and prosperity. This walkway of land that was gifted to the town of Manteo is a testament to their love for this community and their desire to see it thrive for generations to come. Furthermore, Marshall and Gussie understood the importance of land ownership and its impact on the future. They knew that owning land was not just about property, but about stewardship and responsibility. They believed that the land was a gift to be treasured and cared for, and their wisdom on this matter continues to resonate with us today. Despite facing numerous challenges and pressures, my great-grandparents remained steadfast in their resolve to keep their land intact for their descendants. This decision was not driven by a desire for personal gain or profit, but by a deep sense of kindness and love for their family and community. They understood the importance of preserving their land as a legacy for their children and for future generations. They recognized that the land held not only economic value, but also sentimental and historical significance. By choosing kindness over self-interest, they have set an example for all of us to follow, one that prioritizes family, community, and the preservation of heritage over short-term gains. Moreover, their act of kindness in preserving their land has ripple effects that extend beyond their immediate family. My hope is that their gift inspires others in the community and world at large to reconsider their own priorities and values and sparks a renewed sense of appreciation for the land and its history. Through their actions, Marshall and Gussie Collins have fostered a culture of kindness and stewardship that will be passed down, thus ensuring that their legacy will endure for future generations. As we reflect on the profound exemplary impact of my great-grandparents, my grandfather and father, may we all be reminded of the power of love, mentorship, and guidance in shaping the lives of others. Let us honor and celebrate the legacy of Marshall and Gussie Collins, and let us strive to embody their remarkable traits and values in our own lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah and Sharon. I appreciate you sharing your family stories with us today. So I'd like to take a minute here to recognize other members of the committee that we're working on. Alan and Callie, if I saw them, where are they? There we go, standing in the back. Thank you all for your help and support and the projects. And I'd also like to give a big thank you to the volunteers that have worked on this project and our sponsors. Without a community effort, we would not have the trail here and for all to enjoy. So as a wrap up, I'd invite everyone to grab some coffee and a cookie, spend some time talking and introducing yourselves to people that you might not know. And then to wrap up the day, I'm going to respectfully ask that everybody go take a hike and enjoy the trail. Thank you for coming today.